Again, everyone, I would like to ask you to adhere to this house rule of this Zoom call. Please turn off your microphone during the main session and only turn on your microphone or unmute yourself when it's your turn to present. And also feel free to use the chat section at the bottom for any question or comment. And also use the raise hand function if you have any questions. Please change your Zoom account name to this format: country code, your school code, and also your name. This is the school code. So we have 7 schools from Malaysia. We have schools from Singapore, the Philippines, as well as Japan. These are your school codes. Again, this is the format of the Zoom account name. And also please take note that this session will be recorded and we're going to broadcast this via YouTube channel. And I think it's already, I think someone unmute themselves. Can you please again mute yourself and then only unmute yourself when it's time for you to present. And I think it's already time for us to start. So are you ready? So I hope everyone is in a good mood. So thank you very much for joining us. Welcome everyone. This is the event date. This is the time. And this is the 2021 TSUNAGU Research Project Kickoff event. So this event is organized by Liveness Japan, Liveness Malaysia, Liveness Singapore, and Liveness Philippines. We would like to welcome all of you to our kickoff event. Hello, konnichiwa, selamat petang, magandang hapon. Welcome everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, we are very honored to announce our partner for TSUNAGU Research Project 2021, SGV Holdings Berhad. So SGV is one of the largest producers of crude palm oil, or CPO, accounting for about 15% of Malaysia's total annual production of CPO. SGV operates in 9 countries across Asia, the Middle East, North America, and Europe. SGV is a Malaysia-based agribusiness listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia on 28 June 2012. So this initial public offering, which was the world's third largest, raised ringgit Malaysia 10.4 billion. It was initially incorporated as a commercial arm of Federal Land Development Authority, or FELDA, in 2007 to oversee investment in the upstream and downstream palm oil businesses, as well as other agribusinesses. SGV is supported by a strong workforce of more than 45,000 people and focused primarily on 3 core business sectors: plantation, sugar, and logistics. So with 50 years of industry expertise, SGV is committed to continuously drive sustainable business while tapping into revenue stream and from circular economy to create more value. It is indeed an honor to have SGV Holdings Berhad as our partner. Please give a big round of applause to SGV Holdings Berhad. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Umul, and I'm the MC for today's event. My full name is Ummu Alia binti Hashim, and I'm in the Research Development Division of Liveness Malaysia. And I'm being a Liveness member, we are allowed to carry a mission in every project that we involved in. And I have this one mission in which I like to bridge the gap between academia as well as the industry to create a better and sustainable world. So, a little bit about my background study. I acquired Mechanical Precision Engineering bachelor's degree at MJIT, UTM Kuala Lumpur, and I studied Sustainability and Environmental Sciences for my master's degree. It was a double degree program from MJIT as well University of Tsukuba. So a little bit about my personal interests. I'm very much interested in acoustic study as well as environmental activities as well. As you can see here, this is my picture during excursion or field work when I was doing my master's degree. This is somewhere in Hokkaido, as well as I like this one as well. This is my first sunflower, so I'm kind of like proud of it. Thank you very much. You may call me Unu, and I'm your MC for today. Next, I would like to share our agenda for today. So for this kickoff event, we're going to start off with the introduction of our company, Liveness Group. Afterwards, introduction of TSUNAGU research project and this year's round. This is going to be our second year conducting research, TSUNAGU research project. Afterwards, we're going to listen to the keynote speech by the honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Sarena, as well as going to introduce team and research mentors, in which all of us are going to do self-introduction. Afterward, we would like to invite the participating school to do their to introduce their school, which is one of the student representatives from each school will present. Afterwards, before we wrap up, we're going to share the simple introduction to the communication tool and also what are the next steps. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Satomi Maeda. She's the Director of Education Research Center, Education Development Division of Liveness Co. Limited. She is also the project manager for TSUNAGU Research Project 2021. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Satomi Maeda. Hello, Maeda-san. Are you ready for your session?
Yes. Thank you, Umu. So
Over
next
to
slide,
you,
please.
Maeda-san.
Okay, next slide, please. Can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Hi, so my name is Satomi Maeda, and my academic background is actually in psychology. And as Umu introduced me to, in this picture you see there's me, there's a big red arrow here. So I was the project manager of first year's TSUNAGU project. And of course, this is one of my favorite projects. So I'm very, very excited to be a part of this project this year also. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so I have some slides from here to share you about us, about our company, Liveness. So there are two things that I want to tell you today. So what is Liveness? The next slide. So part one. So we are a global company with a big vision, advancing science and technology for global happiness. So we are a global company. Our headquarters is in Tokyo. However, we have 5 offices in the world, like this in this map. Okay, the next slide, please. What is Liveness part 2? Okay, we are a team of researchers with various academic background. So we have about a half master's degree holder and then a half PhD holders. And after this presentation or in this kickoff, we have a self-introduction of our staff members. And please do look forward to what kind of research background that they have. But we are a team of researchers with various academic backgrounds. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so what we do. So this slide shows what Liveness do. So what we do is really, we do a lot of things, but we do a lot of things according to these 4 pillars that you see in the bottom: education, human resource, research and development, and also business development. So to achieve our mission, from the birth of technology to its usage in society, we do many projects not on our own, but with partners like this project, TSUNAGU. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is my last slide. So for instance, this is one example of our education initiative. Science Castle is a global platform for youth researchers all over Asia. So here you see we have this Science Castle event where we gather all the youth researchers from Asia to share their research and their passion to their research project. And this TSUNAGU research, actually the final presentation, will be held in Science Castle, Japan this coming December. So I'm very, very excited to see everyone's good project presented in the event. Okay, so finally, so our Liveness group is very, very proud to have the second year TSUNAGU research project this year. Okay, so I will pass this to Yeb, who's the leader, project manager of this year's TSUNAGU research project. Okay, so Yeb, it's you.
Yep. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yev. So next slide, please. And another one, probably. So thank you very much, Maeda-san, for that baton pass. So again, I'm Yev, and as Maeda-san mentioned, I'm the project leader for this year's TSUNAGU research project. And like Maeda-san said, we're very happy at Liveness Group to have started this initiative last year, because we think that it's a very interesting and a very important initiative that might change the world. And again, I'm Yev. I'm actually Filipino. I'm hailing from Iloilo City in the Philippines. My academic background is that I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry, and then I came to Japan to um, proceed with my graduate studies, acquiring my master's in health life sciences and then PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. And I used to also work as an instructor at my university, and then I actually joined Liveness last 2019. And I'm also actually have been assigned as the representative director and CEO for our very new subsidiary, which is in the Philippines. And yeah, well, just a small fact, I also love singing and dancing. I guess a lot of kids here are also very art savvy. So I'm very excited to hear about everyone's schools and of course what you guys would want to solve in this project. So next slide, please. So what is TSUNAGU all about? So I guess, given that you've applied to this program or are joining this program, I guess you have an idea of what this project is all about one way or another. So it's basically, this kind of platform that we ask, kids like you, youth scientists, basically young and passionate students who are very interested in science and would like, to change the world. And this platform is basically a place for you to work together. And then by working together, of course, you have to collaborate. And then the interesting thing about this is, of course, there are students from 4 countries right now, of course, Japan, Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore. And then, each country has its own culture. It has its own characteristics, problems, issues, and stuff like that. And we think that this is a very good place for all of you to learn from each other, and not just you students. We actually also have a lot to learn from you as well. And of course, I think in today's generation, it's very important to not just limit yourself to your own country or your own space. So there are a lot of issues in the world, and we think it's the responsibility of each and every living citizen of this world to be aware of these issues and even try to address them. So one goal of TSUNAGU is also, of course, to make your perspectives more broad. So next slide, please. And the name itself, TSUNAGU, is just basically as itself means connect or tie together. So it's a Japanese word. And if you have seen our logo, there are 3 colors, and it's actually an origami knot. So, when trying to connect things together, you knot them together. But then, of course, even though we are in one world, there are a lot of colors, there's a lot of diversity. And one goal of this project is, of course, to tie together these different areas of studies, different approaches, different mindsets, different people. And next slide, please. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, this platform is basically where you can collaborate, you can share your experiences, you can work together and discuss ideas as one big group. And our mission for this platform is to develop, our mission for everyone's mission is to develop a global perspective. And of course, this is all about research collaboration, and you want to also nurture that spirit in you guys. So next slide, please. And so how do we actually work towards this goal? So we have like 4 featured activities, or like not really activities, but like ways in which we achieve this mission. Of course, right now, if you can see at the lower left, we have like online discussion or online gatherings like this kickoff. We're not yet discussing anything, but for the rest, of this program, of course, you have an opportunity to discuss online, not really exactly face to, but I mean real time, with all the students that you want to work with. And then, of course, since this is all about research collaboration, you'll have to do research, of course. So upper right, you can see that. And then, of course, the point of us at Liveness, and of course, you also have research mentors later on that we will explain, is of course to offer you like our advice and to guide you along this, program. We also have like mentoring sessions that we'll be doing every month. And of course, as a final output for this whole program, you will also be presenting at Science Castle in Japan, as Meda-san mentioned earlier. So it's our um, science research conference for junior and senior high schools all around Asia, mostly. So next slide, please. And of course, you cannot have collaboration, you cannot have research if you don't have like a topic or a theme, right? So for us, we are all, I think everyone here is Asian, and I guess everyone recognizes how agriculture is something that we're kind of really familiar with. And I'm sure our keynote speaker later, Dr. Sarena, will explain more about why agriculture. But so our theme for this year is to connect and collaborate using science and technology in creating new sustainable forms of agriculture. And then actually we didn't have this host country system last year. So this is something really new. So our host country for this year is Malaysia. And you will be using, this platform for this year to actually know what kind of issues are unique to Malaysia. So maybe for the Malaysia kids, it's kind of like, oh, maybe I know about this, maybe I don't know about this. So it depends on kind of how aware you are of your surroundings. But I guess mostly for the kids from the other schools, I mean, other countries, they would most likely not be familiar with these issues. So what kind of issues are we talking about? So next slide, please. So one thing that we identified, like after looking around, is maybe oil palm or palm oil is something that is kind of unique to Malaysia. So just a short background, the palm oil industry in Malaysia has been around for like more than 100 years. So it's 100, how many? 140, I guess. So it was introduced, palm oil basically was introduced to Malaysia in the 1870s, and now it's like a really budding and like a very big industry, not just in Malaysia, but of course all around the world. So next slide, please. And you could see here, based on the percentage of land that is being used for the plantations of oil palm in Malaysia, you could see that it really takes a lot of land. And of course, you could see also in the bottom two figures that Malaysia is one of the biggest producers of palm oil and one of the biggest exporters. So you could see that how this specific plant or like plant basically and product actually has this really big impact on the country itself. So you could not say that, oh, it's palm oil, it's popular, but maybe not much effect on the country. But given these statistics, you can see how big a role it has on the economy of Malaysia itself. So next slide, please. But of course, being a very fastly expanding industry, it has a lot of setbacks. Of course, it's not perfect. There are a lot of issues. And Malaysia itself, so like as you can see here in this picture, the Prime Minister, the fourth and seventh Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, mentioned how Malaysia is also committed to making the palm oil industry sustainable. So even though economy-wise, it's kind of big and also very important to the country itself, we have to make sure that it's not making or like causing other issues in that sense, and make it as sustainable as possible. And which is why we also felt the same way and decided that palm oil is maybe a very good thing to research or like look at. So next slide, please. And yeah, so as I mentioned, yeah, we decided oil palm is probably the best thing for everyone to look into. And another thing is that probably you've heard about the sustainable development goals that have been assigned or like have been chased or like presented by the United Nations. And oil palm itself is a big industry. It's scattered all around the world, and you can see how the industry itself is kind of intertwined with a lot of these SDGs. So, but of course, we feel that there are like few of these SDGs that are more intertwined, like number 3, 8, 9, 12, and 13. So SDG 3 is good health and well-being. Number 8 is decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation, infrastructure. And 12, responsible consumption and production. And 13, climate action. So next slide, please. And you'd probably be thinking how these palm oil itself is, or like oil palm, sorry, is intertwined with
things that we want to
uh, with
and
and so yeah. So for example, number 3, good health and well-being. You I guess you're very familiar with how palm oil is used in food, frying food. I guess it's one of the biggest cooking oils that can be used, I guess. And sometimes we could say probably it's not healthy, but how can we actually transform it into a commodity or a product that can actually contribute to the health and well-being of the human race? And then seeing how oil palm is a very big industry, not just in Malaysia and around the world. So how can we make the whole industry very human resource friendly, and how could it cleanly contribute to economic growth? So is there something we could do about it? Next slide, please. So for number 9, well, oil palm, of course, has its own emerging technologies, and there are still a lot of ways. I think we will be finding out what kind of issues that there are in this certain industry. And of course, as science and technology is constantly evolving, so we could probably find out what kind of technologies and infrastructures that can be used that can help improve the industry itself. And then number 12, responsible consumption and production. So I guess this is something that probably everyone would most likely be familiar with. So how can we make this industry, which uses a lot of land, a lot of plants, how can we make it more environment friendly and sustainable? And lastly, of course, for climate action, so we know how climate change is something like a big thing that the world is trying to deal with right now. And does this industry actually have any effects on climate change? And if so, how do we deal with it? So please take note that these are just examples of thought. And of course, it's up to your creativity to be able to connect these two big topics like palm oil and the SDGs. So next slide, please. And of course, when you're trying to look for issues, they're not simple like, oh, there's this one issue and it's related to just one SDG. But actually, this world is as complex as it is, and we're very sure how these issues will be quite complex too. So the issue that we will be trying to tackle as a team or as a big group will most likely be also entangled with not just one, but maybe 2 or more SDGs. So next slide, please. However, how will you be able to decide on what kind of topic you're going to think of or you're going to tackle in this program? So of course, first and foremost, you won't be able to do research if you don't know what kind of issue you're going to try and solve. So first, you'll be doing desktop research, for example, of trying to look for issues related to oil palm that you think are very important or might be of most interest to you. And then we will be discussing openly via Slack. So I think a lot of the students have been invited to the workspace. So Slack is basically a communication tool where you could chat with, it's basically a very big group chat where you could share ideas, you could talk to everyone in this program. And then, of course, one important thing that we want you guys to do is, of course, to know what the ideas of the other groups are. And of course, maybe, oh, I want to work with this team. So I think that's one thing that we want to encourage during the course of this program. And as I mentioned, it may not always be just one SDG. So you have to try and check if your issue is kind of related also to the SDGs that we mentioned. And of course, well, you have us to also guide you through this. And later on, these SDGs will actually be related to your big groupings. And now that you have an issue that you want to try and solve, you will be coming up with a research plan to make a solution. So like, of course, you have an issue and then you want to try and make a solution. So how will you be able to connect your issue to the solution? So that's where you make your research plan. And of course, again, Us mentors will be there to guide you. And then for this month, I guess I also mentioned earlier how there will be one mentoring session per month. And the next step, of course, would be to set this mentoring session and present all of these. So your issue and how you will be able to do your research on midterm 1 next month. Next slide, please. And this is just an example last year. So last year we had around half of everything right now, half the schools, half the students. And the main topic was soil. And there were 4 categories. I'm sorry, there are only 3 here, but it's soil and ecosystem, soil engineering, soil and pollution, and the lacking one is soil and crops. And like for each of these big topics, there will also, you have soil and these subtopics, and then you have the different teams underneath it. So that's how we're going to do it this year also. So next slide, please. But then our big upper topic is oil palm. And then of course, above that is agriculture, of course. And then we have the different SDG 3, was it 3, 6, 9, 12, and 13, I think. So there will be 5, ideally 5 categories that you will be grouped into based on how the issues you want to solve are related to each of these SDGs. So again, this is just a partial diagram. There are like 21 teams, I guess, with around 100 students in total. So there will be 5, and there will be 5 big categories. And for each of these subcategories, for each SDG, there will be like 4 or 5 groups. So 4, 4, 4, 4, and 5, because there are 21 teams. So next slide, please. And this is the timeline. So as I mentioned, we are at the kickoff now. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this program. And until next month, so we will be, the goal until the midterm on July 15 is to be able to identify your issue and make a research plan. And of course, be able to try to relate it to the SDGs, because this is kind of where your grouping comes in. And of course, as I mentioned, you will also be doing your monthly mentoring session. So yeah, excited for what everyone is going to, discover in the process, what kind of issues are like secretly lying in everywhere in the internet, basically right now. So yeah, I'm very excited to hear about what you guys will be trying to solve and what you are going to try to do with that. So so I guess that's it for my side, and let me pass it back to Umu, our MC.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Yaf. Thank you very much, Dr. Yaf or Yaf-sang, the project leader of TSUNAGU Research Project 2021. Next is the time for keynote speech. I would like to invite the honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Sarena Che Omar. She's the Senior Research Associate of Kazanah Research Institute. Hello, Dr. Sarena. Hi. Dr. Sarena is here. Yes, for this session, Dr. Sarena will share the screen from her side. Okay, so while she's sharing the screen, I would like to briefly introduce Dr. Sarena. Dr. Sarena is a Senior Research Associate at Kazanah Research Institute. She has a PhD in Plant Sciences from the University of Oxford under the Yayasan Kazanah program, a scholarship program. Dr. Sarena is currently conducting policy research related to food security and agriculture. Please welcome Dr. Sarena. Dr. Sarena, if whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Dr. Sarena.
Hi everyone, can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So first of all, thank you to Dr. Maeda, Dr. Dula, Umu, and the rest of the team at Liveness for having me on board. I also would like to congratulate FGV for coming on board with this fantastic program, and congratulations for picking up agriculture. I cannot emphasize how important agriculture is. And to all the students out there, teachers, and everybody else, I am excited to present this to you, because I hope after 15 minutes, I hope that it will change your view and your perception and open your eyes to why agriculture is so important to every single country and to the world in general. So today I'm going to share with you just very brief overview about the importance of agriculture. I'm going to touch a little bit about oil palm, and I'm going to give you some tips as well about structuring the way you think when you approach and ask questions about how to do a research. Okay, first of all, the title of my presentation is Why Bother with Agriculture, right? I mean, especially us in Asian countries, we grew up in families where they will tell you, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a banker. No one tells you, be a farmer, right? And you always think agriculture is like, at the back of your head, you always think about other industries like services, hospitality, the health sector, but people always don't think too much about agriculture. And that is a big mistake. So first of all, and I get this a lot from a lot of skeptics, and they say, Sarena, what is so important about agriculture? For example, in the Philippines, agriculture is only about 9% of the GDP. Now, do take note, I've mentioned 2019 data because 2020, 2021, we have COVID, everything is different, right? So I just want to tell you what we call business as usual. And business as usual, in Philippines, agriculture is just 9%, no big deal, right? In Malaysia, it is only 7%. In fact, in Japan, it's as low as 1%. So people can say, what is so important about agriculture? It's only such a small percentage of the GDP. And one thing I always tell people, the biggest mistake people make is that they associate agriculture with GDP. One thing that they forget is that agriculture is also, I'm just going to skip this, what we call the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, if some of you students don't know what this is a psychological term about the basic, very basic human behavior. And at the most important baseline of human behavior is that you need to breathe, and you need to eat, and you need to drink. So agriculture fulfills the most important basic human need. In other words, you can have, I'm not saying they are not important, everyone is important, but imagine a country where everyone is a banker and everyone is an engineer. But if no one is producing food, you're gonna die. So this is why agriculture is very, very important. And another thing, now I'm going to go a bit technical and economic here. Now, this is what we call key stages in economic development. Now, when you think about lower income, and this is why people don't think agriculture is sexy, because whenever they think about agriculture, they think about, it's a poor country, they only can produce. So people have this association. And the reason for that is that in lower income country, normally, I'm saying normally here, agriculture makes up a big chunk of the GDP. And what happened as the country developed, it shifts. Agriculture becomes smaller and manufacturing becomes bigger. Now think about Malaysia, right? Those days we were big with rubber, and then we became big in manufacturing, such as the electronics and in all the factories. And what happened is that as it becomes a very high income country, agriculture becomes even smaller and services becomes very big. Now, services can be things such as in the financial sector and such forth. But does this mean that the importance is getting lesser and lesser? No. What happened is that for a country to develop from one stage into the other, but still feeding the people, agriculture must be so efficient that it can let go people, and these people move into manufacturing. And then it becomes more efficient, and these people move into services. We called it releasing labor. In other words, those days, let's say about 30 years ago, you need 10 farmers to produce 1 ton of apples. But agriculture has become so efficient that today you only need 2 farmers, very high tech, very competitive farmer. You only need 2 to produce the same amount of apples. So this is why agriculture is very important, ladies and gentlemen, students and teachers and everybody else. For our country, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, well, Japan is already a developed country, but that's why agriculture is very small. But do you realize how agriculture is so good in Japan? Because agriculture grows with the country. So another thing that I want to highlight to all of you is that consumer behavior changes. And as people develop from a very underdeveloped country to a very developed country, they have different choices, right? They have different tastes. Different things are important to them. So maybe for a country that is very poor in Ethiopia, for example, They don't care if it's organic or not organic. All they care about is carbohydrate food to fill up a hungry tummy, right? But as a country develops, they start to care more and more about their food. Oh, the food must be organic. It must be sustainable. It must be traceable. If I, like this gentleman here, he is tracking down his food because he wants to know, or his product, because he wants to know where it comes from, right? So consumer change. And because of that, agriculture must change too. So you cannot farm those days how you would farm today. Today, it is very, people are very picky in a way, but it's good because people are very particular. Is my food responsibly farmed? You know, is it sustainable? And is it fair to the laborers? And these are issues that's becoming more and more important in ASEAN countries as we become a developing and a developed country. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important actually that each country, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, as we develop, we chase after this development, we must make sure agriculture is able to grow at the same time. So next slide. This is just what it's trying to say, is that it is important for agriculture to grow with the country so that it is able to meet what we call an evolving consumer demand. Okay, let's go into the host country. Let's talk about Malaysia. Okay, now Malaysia, as you guys saw earlier, it is 7% in the GDP, correct? Within that 7%, we are dominated by what we call the plantation industries. So these are the oil palm, the rubber, and to a smaller extent, you have the food, right? So if I put it in another way, the plantation sector, which is the oil palm, which in this case I categorize as oil palm, cocoa, and rubber, it comes up to about 40% of the contribution of GDP for agriculture. Now, to give you an idea how big that is, out of 7.4 million hectares of land in Malaysia that is in agriculture, 85% is for oil palm, rubber, and cocoa. Compare that to food, is very, very tiny. Food is just 15% of the total land in Malaysia. So the food industry actually is not as well developed. And that's back to us Malaysians because we take it for granted. And that is my job actually in trying to convince Malaysia, the government and the people that food is very important. But one thing we want to focus on today is to the left, which is plantation. And it is actually something that we are very proud of. It's a success story. It is something that Malaysia has picked up and has become a world leader in, and that is the plantation sector. Now, this is, and I want you all to really pay attention to this. Now, oil palm industry, yay or nay? This is the elephant in the room that I want you researchers and students to be aware of when you do this research, because you need to be objective about it. Now, you all know this, everybody knows this, we don't need to hide it. Whenever we talk about oil palm, there's always this talk about deforestation, or, you know, you always hear Greenpeace saying, oh, the orangutan is dying, there's oil palm is destroying a lot of forests and displacing people. That is the conversation that is happening. I'm not saying that is wrong or it is right, but it is important for you to acknowledge that it is happening. Have we lost the land? Yes, we have lost 6 million hectares on average. Actually, the latest was 5.8 million hectares of land. Yes, we have lost the land. The question is, how do we move forward, right? You can't just go regretting. So that's where yay or nay, yay. The yay thing is oil palm has contributed to the economy, whether we like it or not. In fact, you know, I will not be here if my family maintained in poverty, because when my grandparents grew, they were really, really poor. And it is the prosperity of Malaysia partly contributed to rubber and oil palm that helped lift my family and some of your family out of poverty. And we cannot disregard that fact. Now, the other thing is what we call sustainability, right? Now, for your information, oil palm is the world's most efficient producer of oil. So let's say if the whole world, right, the whole world needs a certain amount of oil, if you compare corn, what do you call it? Corn oil, canola oil, soybean oil, almond oil, and oil palm is the most efficient. So in fact, if we say oil palm is bad, let's stop oil palm, and the world still needs oil, and let's say the world goes to soybean oil, actually more land will be cleared. So these are the goods and the bads about oil palm that is important for you as students to be aware. And what I want to tell you is, yes, we have deforesters. It is not great. It is very sad. But at the same time, what can we make the best out of it? And that is where you all come in, because you will look into the sustainable way of making sure that we still produce oil palm, but in a way that is responsible and fair to the world and to everybody. Now, we all understand, if some of you don't realize this, there is actually a cap. The Malaysian government has made a cap at 6.5 million hectares of land. So you cannot deforest anything more than that. And oil palm area is fast reaching that cap. So again, that means the only way forward is not to create more land, but actually to make oil palm, the whole supply chain, more efficient. And that is where you guys come in. So thinking, okay, rather than create, deforesting more land, how do we make whatever asset we have much, much more efficient? And this is what I want you guys to remember. Now, oil palm is not just about the agriculture side, right? Because the technology of it, you can produce the highest yield of oil bunch, fruit bunch. But once you go to the factory, if the factory is very inefficient, you're still wasting a lot of oil. So, or maybe the transport is very weak. They don't have good logistics. So it means that for the oil palm industry as a whole to be efficient, you need to look into across the whole supply chain. And this is some ideas for you students when you want to think about your project, because it can be somewhere across the supply chain. It can be anywhere before planting, which is fertilizer, input, water usage, or it can be in the plantation, or it can be about human capital, right? People, laborers, people, workers, and such forth. Now, before I end this, I have some tips for all of you, just to share based on my own experience working in research. Now, I bet a lot of you will be wondering, oil palm is such a big topic. What do I pick, right? Now, the first thing I want to advise all of you, and you have FGV on board, you're very lucky. Whatever you do, when you do research, make sure you always merge industry knowledge and academic knowledge. So don't just read books. You must also talk to the players in the industry. That is when you merge together and you come up with a very, what we call relevant and important research. So how do you do that? In the industry, you should be talking to them, build a good relationship with them, build their trust. Make sure they know that you don't have any intention, but just to do research. Build that trust with the industry, learn from them, but always support with very good quality academic work. When I mean by academic, that means don't go and Google and read Blogspot, right? Or what I call activist website. Be academic, read journal articles, go to conferences, use Google Scholar to research your information. And how do you do that? Because you feel that information is out there. In fact, if you go to Google Scholar and you just type in oil palm, there's tens and thousands of papers. How are you going to read it, right? That's where you need to be strategic. So my advice for you, you start with industry reports and policy reports, because these are usually big overview to give you a big idea, to give you a feel of the industry, so that you know, I want to look into this part of oil palm. I'm interested in that part of the oil palm. So read industry reports and policy papers. After that, go for review journals. Review journals are actually cheat sheets, I call it, because what they do is that they will summarize many years of research paper into one paper. So read that first. Only then you go into a specific technical paper. So on the right, I've given you an example. Sustainable oil palm industry is a general paper that you should read first. Once you've decided you like a particular topic, that's the second paper. I give you an example. This is palm kernel cake and how people use it to feed animals, which is a very sustainable way to move forward in agriculture and farming. And another advice I want to give you is that when you read these papers, start asking questions. Hey, why do they say that? How come they never talk about this? Oh, why is it only 4 factors and not 5? Ask many, many questions. And it is very normal. You end up asking 10 questions, but out of 10 questions, maybe 1 or 2 will end up being your research project. That's how it works. So it doesn't come up as you come up with one research question and ding, that's the one. It doesn't work that way. Normally you explore 10 questions, you end up picking one. And the best advice I can give you all is always be passionate. Like, I'm very passionate about the agriculture industry, but don't be emotional, because that means when you work on something, you're doing it with passion, but you don't get too biased. Oh, because I feel this is really right, therefore I must justify it, even though the fact says it's wrong. If you're objective, you will not be swayed by emotions and bias, but by facts. So these are some of the things that I have shared with you. So if I can conclude everything, students, if you can go home with key points, the key points I want you to remember is that agriculture is more than just GDP contribution. It is life. It is feeding you and your family. Now, and for us to be a developed country, we must develop agriculture as well. And for all palm to be efficient, it must be more efficient, to meet the global demands, it must be more efficient and it must begin to fulfill SDG goals. So with this, I wish everybody all the best. I'm excited and look forward to the outcome of this project. I thank all of you for your attention. Now you're more than welcome to follow me on LinkedIn and on my Instagram profile because I'll be there hopefully 10, 20 years. And if you're interested in agriculture, you want to do a career in it, pop me a message. I hope I can help you. Thank you, and over back to you, Umu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Sarena, for the very inspiring speech. So I hope everyone understand and also inspired by her keynote speech. And the key point is that agriculture is more than GDP. It is essential in our daily life. So I hope everyone take note of that. And thank you very much for the very inspiring. I'm learning myself a lot from your speech, Dr. Sarena. So I believe every students and teachers are also excited to proceed with this project. Thank you very much. It was an honor to listen to your keynote speech. Let me share my screen. Thank you. Once again, please give a big round of applause to our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Sarena Che Omar. Thank you, Dr. Sarena. Now, yes, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Next agenda is that we would like to introduce our TSUNAGU team members, TSUNAGU core members from Liveness staff. So we have listened to Dr. Satomi Maeda, project manager, and also Dr. Yasdullah as project leader. Next, we would like to introduce our team members from Singapore. We would like to start off with Dr. Kihoko Tokwe. Tokwe-san, are you ready?
Yes, thank you. Yes, can you hear me? Okay. Very good afternoon, everyone. And it's very difficult to speak next to Dr. Sarena's very passionate presentation. I was inspired by her talks as well. I myself wish I knew Dr. Sarena when I was your age so that I knew how to do my research. My research, I did it in the field of Australia and then also in jungle of Thailand. I was a field researcher before I joined Liveness. As a child, I grew up here in Singapore and also in Thailand. That's why I'm here together with Liveness to try to create business here. This time we are doing this SDG related project. None of us adults have the answer to it. And then we would like to be able to find out the answer or better solution together with you. I'm looking forward to work together with all of you. And I very excited to see all of you here today. So looking forward working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tokwe-san from Liveness Singapore. Next, I would like to invite from Liveness Singapore as well, Dr. Mengo Lu, to introduce herself. Mengo-san,
hi.
you ready?
Yeah, can everybody hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, cool. So my name is Mango. I previously did my bachelor's in the university at the University of Queensland. So I majored in organic chemistry back then 10 years ago. And after which I went to do my PhD at the University of Hong Kong. I also majored in organic chemistry. So my expertise is the total organic synthesis of natural product, which is also what you actually find in the nature. Apart from extracting it from the nature, I actually am able to design a synthetic route and make it in the lab. So another involved is the catalysis of using halogen bond donors. So actually I just make a bunch of catalysts and I speed up reactions. So I've just joined Liveness and I look forward to hearing from you. So that's all about me.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Mengo Lu from Liveness Singapore. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Togami from Liveness Japan to introduce himself as TSUNAGU team member. Commander.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Makoto Togami. I'm a member of Liveness Japan. My hometown is Kumamoto Prefecture in Japan. Kumamoto Prefecture is south side of Japan. So my hometown is very close for your country. My specialty is electrochemistry, and I did research of fuel cell. The fuel cell is an eco-friendly energy source, and I researched the fuel cell that use enzyme for the catalyst and produce electricity from food. So I like nature very much, and palm oil is my big interest for me. So I am very much looking for doing research with you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Togami-san from Liveness Japan. And next, we would like to introduce our Liveness mentor from the host country itself, Malaysia, Mr. Zaim-san. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mosan. So good morning, everyone. So thank you very much for joining our TSUNAGU research project for today. So I would like to share a little bit about my background. So I'm Zaim. You can call me Zaim. So I was graduated in engineering system, electronic system engineering. So actually, my research project are related to palm oil actually. So basically, what I will try to do is making the wireless sensor network in the palm oil, where we can detect the water in the palm oil, piping, everything. So that is my basic research. But since I cannot do it in the palm oil plantation, so what I'm doing is the research specific in the concept of the wireless sensor network, which is the best we can use in the palm oil. So that a bit about myself. So hopefully can really interested to continue to do research with you guys, helping you to do the research. So that's all from me. So pass back to Umu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaim or Zaim-san from Liveness Malaysia, which is he's my colleague from Liveness Malaysia. Next, so for this year we have new initiatives in which we recruited and also we are joined by research mentors here. So all of them are researchers, and we're very honored to welcome 7 research mentors. And I would like to ask them to introduce themselves. We have 7 research mentors. We would like to start off. I would like to call upon Dr. Izzat to introduce himself. Dr. Izzat, hello, are you there?
Yep. Hi, Mu. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Over to you, Dr.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for to Liveness. So basically, my name is Izzat Muhammad Sufyan, or Izzat Sufyan. So I'm currently as a professor at International Islamic University Malaysia. Almost my 5th year working as academic here. So I was graduated from Japan in Kobe University, background in chemical sciences engineering. and pursue my PhD in pharmacology, pharmaceutical analytical sciences in King's College London in 2017. So basically, my background of research, I'm mainly in drug delivery and nanomedicine, which that what I'm currently in pursuit right now since my undergraduate until at present. I also hold my own research group. We call it as INA, right, or ISAT Nanomedicine Research Group. I have experience working in industry for 6 months under Maybank Group Berhad last year, and also currently working with industrial partner Nanoscan with Berhad in developing COVID-19 nano RTK. So basically on top of my research, basically I love baking and cooking, and also like enjoy my time in the garden as well. So yeah, that's pretty much about myself. I pass back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Izzat. It was an honor to have you, and wow, what is great. How to say? You have a very great achievement, so I'm very honored to have you. So welcome to
Hopefully so, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So Dr. Izzat will join us during the mentoring session as well. So please welcome Dr. Izzat.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Izzat. And then next up, I would like to invite Mr. Ayappa, our research mentors as well. Mr. Ayappa, are you there? Are you ready for your self-introduction?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. So over to you, Mr. Ayappa.
Yep, thank you. With BSc in Biotechnology back in 2017, and I'm currently a doctoral student in the Institute for Research in Molecular Medicine in University Science Malaysia. So now I'm currently in my 4th year, and my research is, well, basically the analogy that I usually use is that we are trying to create a dam that prevents the river flowing towards the enemy camp, which is the tumor or the cancer, basically. So yeah, that's how I usually try to explain myself to a non-science audience. And yeah, and also the other thing is I'm also the founder of the Malaysian Biotechnology Student Association, which is now like in its 3rd year. And yeah, I would love to share my experience. I would love to learn together with all of you, and hoping to work with all of you in this project. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ayappa. So we have Dr. Izzat from nanomedicine, expert in nanomedicine, and so Mr. Ayappa in the molecular medicine as well. So welcome, Mr. Ayappa. Thank you very much for the self-introduction. Next, I would like to introduce our next mentor, which is Mr. Shazali, Muhammad Shazali Chizin, or Mr. Shazali. And Mr. Shazali, are you ready for your self-introduction?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mo. So basically, hi everyone. I'm Shazali. So I received my first degree in 2017 in Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Chemistry in International Medical University in Kuala Lumpur. And then after that, I straightway pursued my PhD studies in phytochemistry. So just to share the news that I received, I passed my Viva only yesterday. So yeah, so basically I think this year's TSUNAGU project is very close to my heart. So it's very related to my PhD project. So basically my PhD project is to try to maximal utilizations of the oil palm biomass in oil palm industry. Basically, I'm focusing on oil palm leaf, which we are discovering the important metabolites in oil palm leaf that we found that flavonoid is the important metabolites, and then I further developing the simple processing method to develop the standardized extract and further incorporate them into the wound healing agent. We just want to make sure we transform the low value of oil palm leaf into high quality materials, and then to develop a more affordable and effective wound healing products. So I think that's all. I'm hoping that we can work together. Right.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I guess Dr. Shazali, thank you very much for your self-introduction. We're very honored to have you, and congratulations on passing your Viva.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much. So I hope all the students are excited to have all of you. And then next mentor, I would like to invite Miss Apple Chiu. So Miss Apple, are you there? Are you ready for your self-introduction? That's perfect.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks. First of all, I want to say congrats, Shazali, for passing your Viva. So I'm Apple. I'm doing my PhD in University of Edinburgh in Scotland, in the UK. So I started off doing my A-levels in UCSI in Malaysia. Then I moved on to do an integrated master's in biotechnology and microbiology. And during my master's, my master's project was on plant breeding to increase the fatty acid content of rapeseed. So rapeseed is an oil crop in Europe. And then right now I'm doing my PhD. I'm in my second year and I'm working on microalgae. So green microalgae are the ancestors of plants. And I'm working on improving gene editing tools in microalgae and hopefully translate that into plants. Yeah, so that's me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Applechu. We're very honored to have join you as mentor. So we have green microalgae expert here. So looking forward to work with you, and thank you. So next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Chu. Dr. Chu, due to work commitment, she is here, but she's unable to unmute herself and also turn off her camera. So I'll do introduction for her. So please welcome Dr. B. Lin Chu, or Dr. Chu. She's the senior lecturer and also the plant scientist from University of Science Malaysia. So for academic background, she acquired a bachelor's degree in biotechnology with management from University Kebangsaan Malaysia or National University of Malaysia. And she also acquired PhD from the University of Nottingham, which is in the UK. And her research involves application of plant tissue on high-value crops, as well as self-suspension culture of tropical medicine. And she hopes to inspire all of you here, especially the young generation, into the field of modern agriculture and advocate sustainable and responsible farming in the next future. So everyone, please welcome Dr. Chu as our research mentor. She's joining us in the next mentoring session. We're very honored to have her. And next, I would like to invite Miss Tiara. Miss Tiara, are you ready for your self-introduction?
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I'm wearing my mask because now I am still doing my experiment and still in the laboratory. So this is like kind of mandatory while speaking. So I'm sorry. So a little bit about myself. My name is Tiara Nurpratiwi. I came from Indonesia, but currently residing in Japan, in Tokyo. So now I'm a doctoral student, first year at the Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology. And I was graduated with the Bachelor in Chemical Engineering, and now I continue to the Department of Food and Energy System Science. So it's kind of still engineering. So my vision in my research is I want to use my engineering background as a tool to improve our understanding on environmental problems. And my current research is in the field of aerosol and particle technology. So especially in its impact to the environment. So for example, combustion, usually in climate change, maybe you are familiar with the greenhouse gases. Well, it's not only gases, but also as well as particles that are in the atmosphere. And now I'm currently researching about that. So before joining this TSUNAGU project, I was doing one science communication project in Cornell University,
What to do?
USA. Sorry. At my time in the USA, I was also discussing about future farming. So today, our speaker, Dr. Sarena, has given a very passionate introduction to agriculture, and I'm very agree with her. And I hope with this background, I can discuss more with all of you, students, and also the teachers and Liveness in the TSUNAGU project. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Tiara. I'm very honored to welcome you as one of the research mentors for the TSUNAGU Research Project. Thank you very much. And so we have chemical engineers here, and welcome to the team. So next, I would like to invite the one and only research mentor from the Philippines, Mrs. Julian. Mrs. Julian, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, over to you, Ms. Julian.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Julian, BS Chemistry and Master of Chemistry graduate of the University of the Philippines, Visayas. I'm currently pursuing my PhD in Chemistry Education at the University of the Philippines, Open University. So I work full-time as a faculty member and researcher of Western Mindanao State University. And my current projects are on essential oils and pectin, as well as on active packaging films. So thank you for having me as one of the research mentors for this highly essential and very prestigious TSUNAGU research project. I am very excited to mentor and yes, connect to this group of young researchers. Once again, thank you and happy afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Julia. I'm very honored to have you as one of the research mentors as well. So we have chemistry expert here. So thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, that was our team members and also research mentors for this TSUNAGU research project. So please give a big round of applause to all the research mentors and also team members. Yes, thank you very much for the, yes, perfect. Thank you so much. So next, agenda is school introduction. So for this part, we would like to invite one student representative from each school to introduce their school that are participating in this year's TSUNAGU research project. So we have schools from Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, as well as Japan. So I would like to invite schools from Malaysia first, SMK Bako, to represent their school, to introduce their school. So I believe we have video from SMK Bako. So let us check out the video from SMK Bako to introduce their school.
Hai, salam papaduan hari bumi kenyalang. Aku Liveness anak Riki, Kamadak Kediri. Datang dari Menua, Sarawak. Aku sekolah buat SMK Baku, Kuching Sarawak. Aku garap setiap temu itu boleh menjual atau aku menang buat pekik inovasi itu. Aku beri saya terima kasih negara kita sudah memberikan peluang alam pekik itu. Harap kita boleh bertemu baru. Hello and good day. I am Liveness Anariki. My team and I are from SMK Bako, Kuching, Sarawak. We look forward to success and much more experience in this competition. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Azra Shohada. My team and I are from SMK Bako. We hope in this competition we will have a successful project and also gain a few extra knowledge. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Asal Sabila Yusa and I am from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Bako. We can learn something new and share the knowledge to people because this opportunity not everyone gets, and we will do our best to bring the glory to our country, Malaysia, and our school.
Hi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera to all of you. My name is Adi Farid Binjaya from SMK Bako, Kuching, Sarawak. Great crop, our research on oil crops that will help in the progress of the agriculture world. We will do our best to make our parents, school, and especially the country proud of us. So for the other participants, let's do our best. And for judge, hopefully happy and satisfied with our presentation. Thank you.
Yes, that's the video presentation from SMK Bako. SMK Bako is in Kuching, Sarawak, which is east side of Malaysia, or we call it Borneo. So thank you very much, SMK Bako, for the school introduction video. That was very innovative of you. Next, I would like to invite SMK Datuk Panglima Abdullah from KK Sabah to introduce their school. So I believe we have Muhammad Anik Daniel. Muhammad Anik,
Yes.
are you ready? Yes, over to you, Muhammad Anik.
Okay, thank you. So hi and good afternoon. So we are representing Malaysia and currently studying at SMK Datuk Panglima Abdullah. So first of all, let me introduce myself. So my name is Muhammad Anik Daniel bin Muhammad, and my fellow teammates Jared bin Abdullah, Muhammad Yusuf bin Abdullah, and Ahmad Tarmizi bin Muhammad Sabri. Next slide, please. Okay, so the history of Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Panglima Abdullah, also known as SMK DPA, began in 1963 with the construction of a school named Government Junior Secondary School. This is the first school that had been built in Semporna District, Sabah, Malaysia. As everyone knows, the land below the wind. So over time, this school has changed its name and is known as SMK Abdullah. SMK Abdullah actually comes from the name of a local figure responsible for the establishment and construction of this school, Datuk Panglima Abdullah bin Panglima Udang. And in 2001, the school was further strengthened with the addition of the name of SMK Abdullah to SMK Datuk Panglima Abdullah. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anik Daniel from SMK Datuk Panglima Abdullah. At SMK DPA as well, coming from Borneo, which is the east side of Malaysia. So welcome. Next, I would like to invite SMK Kota Kolombong from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Yes. Representative from SMK Kolombong, are you ready for your presentation?
Yes,
Nora
I
Amira?
am.
Yes, over to you, Nora Amira.
Okay. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Nurul Amira, and I will introduce my teams from Sabah, Malaysia. Our school is the National Secondary School, or SMK Kolombong, which is located in the Kota Kinabalu city, the capital of Sabah, in the island of Borneo, East Malaysia. Our school is just 21 years old this year, and the students over the years, we have been very active in sports, cultural events, and many competitions. But now, schools in Malaysia have been restricted because of the Movement Control Order, or shorten it, the MCO, due to the pandemic. But the learning takes place online under the Study from Home program. Other than that, we have all the standard facilities in school, such as several workshops, art rooms,
Excuse me, I would like for you to mute yourself because we have presentation here. Yes, Ms. Amira, please continue.
Okay. And we have 6 science laboratories in working condition. Our principal is Dr. Justin Rumpot, and our team comprises Wana Ivy, Here are the, I apologize, the last slide is supposed to show our team members from our school. As you can see, the first one following is Jericho Asli, Yutrina Jerry, myself, Muhammad Adam Iklash, Alphonsus Umbu, Divine Nicolista, Vera Krista, and Mary Immaculate. The teams are now ready to go. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Amira from SMK Datuk Panglima Abdullah for the school introduction. So welcome again to TSUNAGU Research Project Bisya. Next, I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah Cinta to introduce your school. So please welcome representative from Sekolah Menengah Cinta. Hello, Miss Nur Adilia are you ready for your presentation?
Yes.
Yes, over to you, Ms. Adilia.
Start. Hello everyone, my name is Nur Adilia Johanna binti Muhammad Nazahar. I am from Sekolah Menengah Tinta, Malaysia. For your information, Sekolah Menengah Tinta is established earlier this year, which is January 2021, under Girls Education Group and we are currently located in Shah Alam, Selangor. With the tagline, Malaysia's model STEM school, our core is supplying STEM-based education in a holistic and integrated manner for both primary and secondary school level. Next slide, please. Looking at our facility, we have basic science, STEM, and computer laboratory with all the instruments needed. However, the laboratory is under-equipped for research purposes. Talking about our current policies due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are utilizing an online learning platform, which to be exact, Google Classroom and Google Meet to conduct effective online lessons. Besides that, we are also using School to Meet app for formal and thorough communication between the school, the parents, and the students. As a closing for my presentation, I would like to brief everyone that Sekolah Menengah Tinta is sending 2 teams consisting of 6 students for the TSUNAGU research project. That's all for me. Thank you and good luck everyone.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nur Adilia from Sekolah Menengah Tinta. Next, I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah Usahawan Al-Amin Ulu Klang to do the introduction.
Oh my God.
Nabhan.
Hi.
Hi, Nabhan.
Okay.
Just over to you, Nabhan.
Should I start now?
Yes, over to you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nabhan Raimi, and I'm the representative for Sekolah Menengah Usahawan Al-Amin Ulu Kelang. And today I'm here with Salman Saifur Rahman, Ifa Amanillah Muhammad Karun Nizam, and Ahmad Danish Khawarizmi Muhammad Faizal. Next slide, please. Okay. Our school name is Sekolah Menengah Usahawan Al-Amin Ulu Kelang, and it was established on 2017, and it's located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Oh my God. Okay. Our current restrictions are home-based learning due to the current pandemic, and hence research facility-wise, we only have a recording studio, and the students also have access to computers and laptops. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nabhan from SM Usahawan Al-Amin Ulu Kelang. So please welcome Sekolah Menengah Usahawan Al-Amin for the TSUNAGU research project. So hopefully you enjoy. So next, I would like to invite representatives from SPPI Gombak.
Yes.
Adam Harith. Adam Harith,
Yes.
are you ready for?
Yes.
Yes, for your sharing. Yes.
Hello and good morning, to everyone. My name is Adam Harith bin Abdul Rahim. You can call me Adam. My friends Amir Syed, Amir Hanan, and Amir Najah, and I are the representative from SPPI Gombak that will be participating in the TSUNAGU research project. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about our school. Next slide. Our school is led by Madam Wan Surani binti Wan Muhammad Razali as the principal, along with Madam Shaharia binti Muhammad Ismail, the Senior Assistant of Administration, Madam Kuzanat binti Kumaisa, the Senior Assistant of Students Affairs, Madam Mastura binti Ismail, the Senior Assistant of Curricular Activity, and Madam Dahliza as our Assistant Teacher. Next slide. The vision of our school is quality education, educated human beings, prosperous country. Our school mission is to maintain a quality education system to develop the potential of individuals to meet national aspiration. Next, I would like to talk a little bit about our school facilities. Our school had won a lot of achievements from many R&D competition with the help of all of the school's great facilities such as the library and access center, R&D and robotics studio where we do our projects, computer labs, iSmarts, and future classroom where all the classrooms are equipped with a projector and an Apple TV for multimedia presentation. Plus, all students are allowed to bring their iPad for education purposes to school. That sums up everything I have to say. I hope that this research program would be beneficial for myself and everyone else. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Adam Haris from SBPI Gombak. So for your information, SBPI Gombak has joined us last year. So we would like to welcome SBPI Gombak again for this year. Thank you very much for joining us on SUNAGU Research Project. Thank you, Adam Haris. Next, I would like to invite representative from SM Science, Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra, Tengku Lydia Hanan.
Yes.
Tengku Lydia. Yes, if you're ready, over to you.
Yay. All right. Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Tengku Lydia Hanan binti Tengku Syarizani, the presenter for Sekolah Menengah Sains Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra for today. Our teacher in charge is Sir Hafizi Muhammad, who is also a chemistry teacher at our school. Next slide, please. Okay, introducing our group members. Our group members are Mudani bin Hafizi, Sabrina Nubatusha binti Shamsul Baharin, Hani binti Nasrul Hadi, and the fourth one is Muhammad Iskandar bin Sahaimi. Together with me, we are a 5-member group and we are all Form 2 students. Next slide, please. Right, on to the history of Sekolah Menengah Sains Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra. Our school officially opened in 1973 with 6 classes and 11 teachers, but the students had to reside in the nearby Sekolah Menengah Ismail Petra until the present campus was ready at the start of 1974. In 1986, however, the name was changed to Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra Science Secondary School, named after the Crown Prince of Kelantan, His Royal Highness Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra. In 2012, the school has been honored with Premier SBP title, which grant itself to stand tall with other Premier SBP such as MCKK, SDF, and STAR. In 2016, the school has been chosen as IB Middle Years Program World School. Next slide, please. Our school has also received some awards and titles, such as International Baccalaureate World School in 2016, the Best Fully Award Residential School Award in 2007, a Smart School Award, and the Class of Excellence School, and also the High Performance School Award. Next slide, please. We also have some research facilities, such as 2 biology lab, 2 physics lab, 2 chemistry lab, a STEM room, and a full and fast internet coverage at school compound. Next slide. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we do have some restrictions, of course. When we were in school, we had to wear masks, and the current restrictions would be the movement control order issued by the government. And due to the movement control order, we are all in home-based learning right now. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tengku Lydia Hanan from SM Science Tengku Muhammad Faris Petra from Kelantan, Malaysia, and welcome to SUNAGU Research Project this year. Next, from Singapore, I would like to invite Clementi Town Secondary School, or CTSS, to do their introduction. So I believe we have a presentation. Yes.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clement, and I'm going to present on the behalf of my school. We are from Clementi Town Secondary School in Singapore, and we'd like to take this opportunity to share our school with you. Could we bring up the pop-up, please? Oh yes, thank you. Our secondary school was established in 1980, so we are 41 years old this year. There are a total of 5 secondary levels, and we have a total of 1,220 students. The Science in Action program is a program that we are extremely proud to be a part of. Can we play the video? Oh, thank you. So here we have a video telling you more about the program.
The Science in Action program has been an absolute gift to me by giving me a chance to work in an NUS lab with state-of-the-art equipment and do experiments that I would never get the chance to do in secondary school. The Science in Action program has allowed me to work with industry-leading experts as well as like-minded people in the field of science, allowing me to kindle my interest and passion further in the field of biology. I really do hope to prove myself in the field of research and biology in future.
All right, that is all from us today. We'd like to thank you for giving your utmost attention.
Thank you very much, Ansuma from CTSS, Clementi Town Secondary School from Singapore, the representative from Singapore this year. Welcome to welcome to SUNAGU Research Project. Let me share my screen one more time. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Welcome from Singapore representative, CTSS. Welcome again. Next, I would like to invite the representative from the Philippines. Yes, I would like to welcome school from the Philippines. So we're going to start with Philippine Science High School, Western Visayas campus. The representative from PSHS, are you ready for your introduction?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, over to you.
Good day, everyone. I am Altair Mizar Envoltura from the Philippine Science High School Western Visayas Campus, or PSHS WVC. In 1992, our school was the third campus established under the PSHS system. Students who pass the school's entrance examination avail privileges such as free tuition, free loan of books, and a monthly stipend. With the core values of truth, excellence, and service, PSHS WVC prepares students for careers in science and technology through its STEM programs and courses. The institution also offers high-quality education that develops students into well-rounded individuals who are dedicated to nation building. Next slide, please. The school has a rigorous research curriculum and 4 research laboratories: biology, chemistry, physics, and computer science. Each laboratory is equipped with a wide range of supplies and equipment that caters to the needs of the researchers. Furthermore, each laboratory has a science research specialist that aids the students in the conduct of their experiments, especially in the use of sophisticated equipment. In addition, the school also has a functional research station in Guimaras Island. However, due to the pandemic, the students have limited to no access to the school's research facilities, since the institution is still implementing remote learning. The students only attend synchronous and asynchronous classes at the comfort of their own homes. Thus, the students conduct their research experiments using home-based materials or personally purchased equipment. Also, the students are not allowed to enter the campus unless urgent and necessary. To enter the campus, the students must write a letter of request to the school director for approval. That is all for my presentation. We are PSHS WVC, scholars in pursuit of truth with passion for excellence and commitment to service.
Thank you very much, Evolution Altar from PSHS, Philippine Science High School. Thank you very much for the very complete presentation. Next, welcome again to SUNAGU Research Project. Next, I would like to invite University of the Philippine Science High School in Iloilo. So I'm representative from this school, UP High School in Iloilo. Are you ready for your presentation? If you're ready, over to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So a pleasant day to everyone. We are one of the Philippines representatives for this year's SUNAGU Research Project. We are 10 grade 11 science, technology, engineering, and mathematics senior high school students from the University of the Philippines High School in Iloilo. The University of the Philippines High School in Iloilo, also known as UPHSI, is one of the 4 high school departments under the UP system. UPHSI was established in July 1947. The high school department is designed for the socio-economically disadvantaged but academically qualified students to access tertiary education without tuition fees. Next slide, please. Furthermore, it is an experimental laboratory of the College of Arts and Sciences that provides innovative teaching strategies and academic preparation for admission to the University of the Philippines undergraduate programs. In research, The University of the Philippines High School in Iloilo has 4 laboratories, including chemistry, biology, earth science, and physics, equipped with proper materials to conduct conducive research and experimentations. Students gain access to computer laboratories and free Wi-Fi usage for modern-day exploration and groundwork. Still, libraries are open for access to archives of various studies. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, classes are in remote mode. Face-to-face classes are prohibited by the university. That's all for the introduction of our school. The UP High School in Iloilo of the University of the Philippines, Visayas.
Thank you very much, Jana from University of the Philippines High School in Iloilo. So thank you very much for the very composed presentation. So we have one alumni from Iloilo High School as well. I believe Yasang is from this school. Yes, welcome again to SUNAGU Research Project. Next, I would like to invite Claret School of Zamboanga City. I believe it's Aubrey. Hello, Aubrey. If you're ready, the floor is yours.
So before I start, I would like to greet everyone a good afternoon. Hi, my name is Aubrey, and I am the presenter of our school. So our school, Claret School of Zamboanga City, is a private Catholic educational institution established in 1966. It is run by the Missionary Sons of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, a religious organization founded by Saint Anthony Mary Claret. Now under here, we have the Claret Research Team, which is an organization composed of junior and senior high school students and faculty members, and of course, a laboratory for experiments and research. Next slide, please. Now, due to the pandemic, a flexible dynamic learning program has been implemented wherein students are engaged in online classes or off-campus modular activities. This is to cater the students' educational needs while adhering to COVID protocols. So yeah, that's it. This is Claret, where we believe knowledge is the best with virtue. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Aubrey, for the very nice presentation from Claret School of Zamboanga City. Yes, thank you so much. Next, we would like to introduce school from Japan. We would like to start off with Dalston Tokyo Junior and Senior High School. Representative from the school. Yes, over to you if you're ready.
Can you hear clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes, if you're ready. Can you see the slide?
Okay. Hello, everyone. We'd like to introduce you to our school, Dalton Tokyo. This is going to be the 3rd year since our school opened. Dalton's philosophy is go forth unafraid. Can you, next slide, please? In our school, students enjoy a lot of freedom. We don't have many strict rules, so we are quite different from other traditional schools in Japan. We have a science club in our school where we can do all kinds of research and experiments. We also grow cells in our school lab and grow plant and crops in our school farm. As for research, one good example is a group research on a plant called kuzu, which is a plant that has a widely spread and damaged ecosystems across Asia. So we are trying to find a way to solve this problem with our own research. We are so excited to work on the project with you guys all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Naoto. Naoto from Dalston Tokyo Junior and Senior High School. Welcome to SUNAGU Research Project 2021. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Mita International School student representatives. So before we start, I would like to give a special shout out to Akiyama-san from this school. So Mita Kokusar, Mita International School, if you're ready, the floor is yours.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, we are the students from Wait. We are the students from Mita International School in Tokyo, Japan. And I'm Ali. Mayu.
I'm Haritaka.
Hey, so our school has a nice lab equipped with decent amount of lab materials. So we hope we could be helpful for you all. We also have a science course as well. We're all not in the science course, but we're looking forward to do the project and are eager to talk to you all as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mita International School, and welcome to TSUNAGU Research Project 2021. Okay, thank you. Next, we would like to invite, last but not least, Reitaku Senior High School to do the school introduction. So I would like to invite a representative from this school. Reitaku, sorry, Reitaku High School student representative, are you here? Yes, I think I can see Irena. Irena.
We're Reitaku High School students. Our school is in Kashiwa City, Chiba Prefecture. Our school is really big, and we are proud of having a big campus. There are 1,000 boys and girls students in our school. All students have their own Chromebook. Our school has moral class once a week. We can learn thoughtfulness, feelings of gratitude, and independent heart. We also have dormitory in our school. About 10% per grade student live in the dormitory. There are many club activities in our school. One of the club activities that we belong to is SDG Club. They are a big projector and one of the wall can be used as the whiteboard. This club wanted people to know about children cancer throughout lemonade stand. There are 60 people in this club. We also sell fair trade coffee and we make sustainable development cycle by ourselves. We want to look abroad throughout this activity. Students and teachers check our temperatures every morning. We have to wear a mask all the time inside a campus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rena. I guess Rena from a representative from Reitaku Senior High School, and that will be all participating schools that will joining us for TSUNAGU Research Project. So please give a big round of applause to all schools that are participating this year. And just please give a big round of applause. Yes, again, we have representative schools from Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Japan. So this program is especially for you students. So please enjoy the process of TSUNAGU Research Project. So we're working hard to give back to you. So please enjoy the process. So I would like to welcome everyone. Next, we would like to brief a little bit about next step. Yes. So kindly noted for school teachers as well as students. So from here onwards, please familiarize yourself and also log in yourself with the communication tool. We are using Slack. So for those who have sent your student email to our Liveness staff here, we have sent invite to you to join our Slack workspace. And then next, please also do our desktop research on oil palm issues and try to think of a certain issue that you might want to solve that could relate to SDG as well. Next would be, we're going to set the mentoring session. So one mentoring session per team will assign you mentors this month if you're not clear what SDG goals are or your issue that is related, that could relate to SDG as well. So please find a time and set it around 2 weeks before the midterm one. So midterm one is going to be on July 50th, yes. And then try also fix the issue and research plan. So based on the discussion with other group, try to fix the issue that you want to solve and try to make a research plan for it before midterm. And then also in the Slack channel, please join the 2021_ student self intro. This is a special channel for you. Please make self introduction in this channel as well. You can do it whichever you want. This is especially for you. And the worksheet for the desktop research, we'll also be preparing a worksheet that you can use as a guide when researching about your preferred issue. And you can start researching from now on. So basically, there are three main tools that we'll be using for SUNAGU Research Project this year. First of all, Slack. Please familiarize yourself with Slack. Please download it on your PC or even your mobile phone. This is a day-to-day communication and also file sharing. If you have any inquiry or question, feel free to use Slack to communicate with us as well. Next, we also have our official website, sunagu.lne website. So we have this special feature called Student Blog. So you may use this blog to share your team progress each week, or it can be done once in every 2 weeks as well. And we also will be using Google Drive for the file sharing. So these three tools are very important. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. And so the overview of the timeline next, the most important thing is on July 50th. So please also mark your calendar. So we're going to have our midterm on this date, midterm 1. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and everyone, I would like to invite all of you to turn on your camera because we would like to take pictures together. So this marks our kickoff of this year's SUNAGU Research Project. Everyone, just come closer to the camera, turn on your camera. Yes, because our technical staff are going to take our picture. I believe it's Mr. Zaim, my colleague from Liveness, Malaysia. So on your cue, Mr. Zaim.
Okay, so smile. Okay, smile. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Please give a big smile.
Smile. Okay. Okay, I think that's all from
Okay.
Umu.
Okay, thank you so much. So everyone, that is the kickoff event for today. So I'm going to, so yeah, that will be the month of our kickoff event for this year. So please welcome again, everyone. I hope today's events inspire you to do more, to do research, especially at this year's theme, Palm Oil. So thank you so much for joining us. Once again, we would like to, on behalf of Liveness, we would like to thank our partner, SGV Holdings Berhad, for joining us for this year's SUNAGU Research Project 2021. Yes, last but not least, if you have any questions or any inquiry, feel free to ask us through the Slack channel, and also check out our new website, sunagu.lne.st. And we also have our special email, which is sunagu@lnes.jp. Yes, so I believe that wraps up our kickoff event for today. So welcome everyone again to SUNAGU Research Project. Remember, this project is for you. So yes, so that will be the end of our today's event. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great time today. So feel free to use Slack and communicate from that. So, yes, thank you so much. Welcome again to SUNAGU Research Project.
Everyone. See you.
Thank you, everyone.
Please make sure to register in Slack and log in so that.
Yes, remember to use Slack.
Please use Slack.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Feel free to ask us any questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all.